Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is lesson 388. The title of today's lesson is the difference between overdue and expire. Yeah, sometimes I will have students ask me about these two, and sometimes it could lead to a mistake or it could lead to confusion if you don't know the difference between the two. So let's take a look here. First, let's look at the note. We look at overdue. Overdue means that something should have been done before or at an earlier time. So we usually use it for things like that. It is often used for things that are borrowed, like a book from the library or a videotape from a store or a video game from a store, something like that, and should be returned. Or things that should have been paid by a certain date, especially things like bills. Your bill could be overdue. Your electric bill could be overdue, or your gas bill could be overdue. Okay, let's continue here with expire. Expire means that an agreement, contract, or document's time period comes to an end. Expire is often used for memberships, like if you belong to a gym or a health club or something like that, you may have a membership. Contracts, of course, contracts can expire. They do expire. They do have an ending date. That's why baseball players or sports players have to re-sign with a new contract, because the old one does eventually end. It expires. It comes to an end. Dates on documents, passport, license, such as passports, license, etc. It is also used to be a limit on things that are perishable. All right, just like you go to the store, we have expiration date on a lot of food. Usually the date on most of those is usually like a sell-by date, but it's still, there's an expiration date that stores cannot sell it by a certain date. So you have expiration dates on lots of food. Or should no longer be used. Yes, there's also expiration dates on like medicine. They don't suggest that you use it, past this date or something like that. All right, let's continue. All right, let's look at the first one here with the X. This is one where a student is likely to make a mistake. I didn't realize my passport was overdue until I got to the airport. No, that's a document. We use expire, not overdue. Okay, good. All right, next one here. I had to pay a fine because my library book was overdue. Well, remember we told you with things that are borrowed, we often use overdue, or they were expected to happen by a certain time. We use it for a woman when she gets pregnant. We always say a due date, and if she goes past that due date, we say the baby is overdue because the baby was expected to arrive by a certain date. Okay, let's continue here. Your payment is overdue. If you don't pay it by the 10th, the electric company will turn off your power. Power here means electricity. So again, we definitely use it for bills. Bills will be overdue if they haven't been done by that certain date. Okay. The next one, your membership will expire in 2 days. So remember, membership is really a type of a contract. So we also say with contracts, they end, they expire. In 2 days, if you don't renew. Renew, of course, that means you're basically signing a new contract to extend it. All right, let's continue. The date on this coupon is expired and can no longer be used. Okay, well, it's also kind of a document in a way. Or, it's something that can no longer be used past a certain date. So we say that it expired. Okay, let's continue. The driver's license will expire on your birthday. Yeah, in the U.S., they often have that. They always go by people's birth dates, so you have to renew by your birth date again, every 4 years or 10 years or however long you extend your driver's license for. Okay, good. All right, and the last one here. The date on this bottle of medicine expired 2 years ago. It's another one where it shouldn't be used after this date. Perhaps you shouldn't use it. Okay. I hope this is clear. I hope it was informative. I hope you got a much better feel now of when you should use expire and when you should use overdue. Okay, thank you for your time. Bye-bye.